Behind the scenes of Outlander, laughing out loud at failed scenes and unbelievable camaraderie. Outlander, one of the most beloved TV series of the decade, is famous not only for its fascinating time travel plot, but also for its extremely compatible cast, especially Sam Heughan, Jamie Fraser, and Katrina Balfe, Claire Fraser. But behind the tear-jerking, passionate, or suspenseful scenes of war and history, there is a whole behind-the-scenes world filled with laughter that the audience never gets to see. On a lightly rainy day in the Scottish Highlands, where the crew was filming a wild forest scene for Season 5, the camera suddenly stopped mid-shoot for an unexpected reason. Sam Heughan couldn't stop laughing. The reason? Katrina had just slipped in the mud while running away from British soldiers, and instead of falling, miserably, as the script required, she fell over, landed on her butt and screamed. "Help! My butt is lost." The whole studio burst into laughter. Sam collapsed to the ground, clutching his stomach and rolling around in laughter, while the director could only raise his hand to ask for a pause in filming. Sam recounted in a special fictional interview with Cinema Whisper magazine, "There were days when we couldn't film anything. Not because of the technique or the weather, but because we were having too much fun. When you're filming with people you love like family, every little mistake becomes a treasure." Chapter 2. When Jamie Fraser speaks French like a cow. One of Sam's biggest challenges was the French dialogue in Season 2. Despite being thoroughly trained, Sam couldn't help but ruin his role. In a crucial scene, Jamie had to argue with a French prince at a noble party. Sam stepped out in a luxurious suit, his hair tied up, and said, Je suis fromage." The entire crew froze for a second, then burst into laughter like fireworks. Katrina almost choked on her wine from trying to hold back her laughter. She whispered, "You mean, I am cheese?" Sam defended. "No. I meant, je suis Jamie Fraser. I swear I learned it right." From that day on, the nickname, Sir Fromage, stuck with Sam on set. The assistant directors even stuck a Fromage Master sticker on his trailer for 2 weeks straight. Chapter 3. The Battle. Ruined by a chicken. In a fiery battle scene in Season 3, extras were invited to create a sense of grandeur and authenticity. Everyone was ready to fight when suddenly, a chicken, belonging to a household near the set, rushed into the scene. The chicken prancing across the battlefield like a queen. A Highlander warrior, who was acting wounded, looked up, saw the chicken, and shouted, "My God, sacred!" At once, a bunch of soldiers began to bow their heads in reverence to the chicken. Sam, who was lying on the ground with a fake wound on his shoulder, laughed so hard that his makeup peeled off. Katrina later joked, the chicken was probably the best supporting actor of the season. After that incident, the crew nicknamed the chicken Outlander, and it became the unofficial mascot of that year's filming. Chapter 4. When the director lost in the woods. It wasn't just actors who caused the botched take. During a shoot where Claire and Jamie were lost in the woods, the director, so excited about a new angle, climbed up a tree branch himself to get a bird's eye view. Result: he was stuck in the tree for almost an hour. No one dared to laugh, at least not at first. But when Sam found out, he quietly went to find a child's toy telescope in the car, turned around and said, "Sir, from here I can see the genius of cinema. Stuck like a squirrel," the director later recalled. "I thought I had found a genius angle. Until my legs went numb and I realized I had no idea how to get down." Chapter 5. Real camaraderie off-screen. Although laughter was always present, the most precious thing was the genuine connection between the members of the film crew. Katrina and Sam, although they often teased each other, were always there when the other was in trouble. Once, When Katrina had a high fever on the day of filming, Sam quietly brought a blanket and homemade ginger tea to the set. He even stood in the windbreak when she was shooting outdoor scenes. When Sam sprained his foot during a horse riding scene, Katrina, who was terrified of horses, decided to take his place on the horse for a few long shots, just to give Sam a break. The two were often seen arguing about the most trivial things. Was Scottish crickets better or was Irish candy more worthy? But when the cameras were off, they would often sit back, sip coffee, reread their scripts together and sometimes just sit in silence, looking out at the green hills of the Highlands. Behind-the-scenes videos that no one dared to release. In addition to the failed scenes that fans have seen, there are still videos that have been banned internally because they are too weird. During a storm scene, Sam spontaneously sang a BBA's Dancing Queen in the middle of an artificial hurricane. Sophie Skelton, Brianna, once dressed up as a zombie and suddenly rushed out to scare Richard Rankin, Roger, causing him to scream so loudly that the sound staff had to check the microphone. Another time, the crew pretended to film a serious scene in a courtroom, but instead of real dialogue, they read Victorian love poems mixed with a robot voice. These clips are stored on a secret hard drive named Only Play When Drunk, Chapter 7, when it was all just family. In rare behind-the-scenes photos, the actors were seen sleeping together in sleeping bags by the campfire, eating cold sandwiches together, or helping the set crew clean up after a sudden downpour. Once, when a lighting crew lost a loved one, the crew quietly set up a small altar behind the set, lit candles, and held a moment of silence. They weren't just filmmakers, they were family. Chapter 8, and the laughter lived on. On the final day of the 7th season, instead of ending with champagne and a lavish party, the Outlander crew held a costume party. Sam dressed as Claire, wore a long wig, and spoke with an Irish accent for 3 hours. Katrina wore a kilt, pretended to be Jamie, and spoke with a Scottish accent so badly that she choked on it. Richard Rankin showed up in a Outlander costume, and Sophie brought cheesecakes with Sam's face on them. They sat under the Scottish sunset, hugging each other tightly and saying words of thanks without words. Because when it's all over, what's left is not fame or episode numbers, it's memories that no one else has.